Hi, I'm Dave Wurzel, and you're watching PHTV4 Police Update. Police Update today, we're going to talk about scams that community members, citizens should be, alert for, watch out for. To help us take a look at this topic, we're going to talk with Palos Heights Police Detective Bill Moritz. Detective, thank you for being here.
No problem. Glad to be here.
This is a really important, service to provide this message. I know that this is, a part of your job that probably can be really difficult because people scamming are always coming up with new angles to work.
Right.
So maybe, if you could start, we're headed into the holidays, and I worry about that because I think, it's a time of period where people are maybe a little more vulnerable. There's more online shopping, there's more emails, there's charitable donate, there's all kinds of things going on, trying to keep track of it all. But that aside, and we'll look at that in a second, can you talk to us a little bit, like what types of scams or fraudulent strategies are you dealing with now?
So, it's always ever changing with the scams. So we were talking earlier that, that one scam might work now and then one might work later on. So recently we just took a case where a victim fell to be a victim when he was called by somebody he thought was Chase Bank, and they asked a bunch of personal questions, said that there was fraudulent charges on his bank account, and he needed to provide his address and a PIN number for his debit card. And lo and behold, a week later he found out that not only that were fake charges made, but it was in the amount of like $6,500.
Oh my gosh.
And he had no idea. It was ATM withdrawals. So at some point, somebody faked to be a Chase employee, and then he gave out his PIN card or his PIN number, and they told him that he was going to expect a new debit card in the mail, and he never received it. So it was either intercepted in the mail, or they stole it, or somehow, some way, they got a hold of his debit card, and then they used the PIN number that he gave them to make the withdrawals with the thing. So.
Okay, so I'm going to guess, and then correct me if I'm wrong. In a situation where a bank, and you mentioned Chase, but it could be any bank, right? Calls you and says, hey, there's a thing with your card. What does a person do at that point instead of doing what that person did?
You want to, it's unfortunate because you want to take care of it if there wasn't actually a fraudulent charge, but the best thing to do is either hang up or log on to your app if you have it on your phone, see if those charges that were being suspected were on, if they were actually made on the app. And if you can't get onto your app, I would just hang up and just go to the bank and say, hey, I received this phone call. Is this legitimate? Do I have any charges that that were made against my account? And they can tell you yes or no right away.
That's a really good point. Instead of you taking the call, how about you have your credit card, call the number on the credit card, or call your bank, and let them tell you that way, instead of trusting whoever. Okay, how about any other types of scams you're dealing with out there that we should be
That was the most recent one, but there's always scams where somehow they get a hold of your computer and they say that in order to get your control of your computer back, you have to send us Apple gift cards or send us money through Bitcoin or anything like that. Anybody that's gaining control of your computer or calling you and asking you for money, those are going to just be red flags, and those are going to be more than likely scams. So I would just err on the side of caution. If you receive a phone call or somebody takes control of your computer and they're asking for money or Bitcoins or anything like that, just close your computer down and call the police, and we can try and take care of it and see what actually is happening.
Okay.
So.
I was going to say there is that tendency, like, well, somebody's asking for help or they need something, and especially if it's a charity, and you want to help out, or the local police department or fire department, whoever, you want to help the organization, but that's probably not the way that donation is going to take place.
Correct. Usually if you want to donate to somebody, I've donated to organizations in the past and around the Christmas time, and then I'll get a phone call a year later and they're seeking donations. And that's normal because you put your phone number in your profile when you donate. But if you're just getting random phone calls saying that we're the Palos Heights Police Department, hey, can you donate X amount of dollars to help our charitable cause, those are red flags too, because the Palos Heights Police Department or any other state police or FBI or anything, they're not coming after you soliciting money for you.
Right.
But
Okay. All right, so a good tip there. Anybody asking for a charitable donation, you need to be careful at that point, especially the phone call part of it. Have you donated in the past, and how did you donate?
Right.
You know, maybe
Right.
you did it online
Right.
to their organization, so there's no...
Right. And if you do want to donate, you can always just hang up the phone and just go onto their website yourself and put
You initiate it.
Right, you initiate that contact. Giving them money over the phone, if somebody's calling you, that's just a red flag.
How
So-
about the other one, and I know I've experienced this, where I'll get a text, and actually I've gotten emails like this, it'll say, well, hey, you won something, or you're eligible for a prize. And it's not a big prize, and it's not a big win.
Right.
And but in the process of going to that, opening that thing, they will want some information, and
Right.
you may have to pay a shipping fee, and it may not be large, and so it's easy to feel like, well, this isn't a scam. I'm guessing there's potential danger in there, because if you hand out a credit card number,
Right. Yeah, and those are called phishing scams. So like somebody's phishing for you to try and fall for their scam, or they're venturing out into your email address. And so I would just err on the side of caution. If it sounds too good to be true, it's probably
is.
too good to be true. If you didn't sign up for a prize or a contest and somebody's just sending you an email, hey, you won a car or whatever, it's probably too good to be true. And just be cautious. If you do put your credit card in, they might be cloning that credit card and then using it in the future for other things. So I would just
Right.
be cautious about that. So
okay. And we can always contact the police department.
absolutely, that's what we're here for. So
All right.
and a lot of times they'll have an email. So if it's like a Microsoft, they'll just be one letter off in the email to
All
make
right.
it look like it's Microsoft. Maybe just be cautious that they're making it look like they're eBay or Microsoft or something, and it's a legitimate company, but the email address is just like one letter off usually. So
Yeah.
just be cautious of that. So.
Another good tip that look at the email, like who sent the thing.
Right. Yes.
And
Yep.
check the spelling and check the name, and it should look cleaner than it will
For
be.
sure. Yep.
Okay. Are there any other crimes or trends we should be aware of? And again, I'm thinking the holidays are coming. I want to ask you about vacation, because
Yep.
I know you have that sort of, but in general, other things we should be mindful of?
Yeah, a couple weeks ago, we took a report of cars just being rummaged through again, and one of the cars had their keys in it, and it ended up getting taken. So just be cautious of leaving your valuables inside your car, and then also keep your cars locked. Yes, Palos Heights is very safe, but a lot of times the people that are doing these crimes are not Palos Heights residents. They're people coming from outside of the Palos Heights, and they're going into cars. They're looking for loose change. They're looking for wallets, and then they'll go use the wallet, credit cards elsewhere. So just be cautious of that. Make sure your car's locked. And
Yeah, I can imagine that that's a kind of a crime of opportunity, in the sense that they're driving through a community.
Right.
There's a car in the driveway,
Right.
or is it locked or not?
Right.
No, very, very good advice. The other, and I know this has come up before. I know I recently used it, and I was like, this is wonderful. Going on vacation. We
Yep.
have the winter. I know people are going to want to, get to warmer
Yep.
climates, or you got winter break coming up from school. How can the Palos Heights Department help out in that situation?
So we have what's called a vacation watch. So if you live in town, if you live on Harold Avenue or something like that, you just come in, give them your information, who's going to be at the house, or if anybody's going to be checking on the house. I know a lot of people go away for the entire winter, so they might be gone for months at a time. So Palos Heights, we have our community service officers. They check the house every day. You'll tell them if the windows are going to be locked, the doors are going to be locked, is there going to be a light on, will you be getting mail, should there be a car in the driveway, if something did happen, who should we contact, so it's just you come into the police station, give them your information, when you're going to be leaving and when you're going to come back. And then our community service officers will check the house. They go around, check all the windows, all the doors, make sure everything's secure while you're gone. And it's just a peace of mind while you're gone. So.
No, for sure. And I'm going to have to say that I used that service one time, and I was still home when the community, like we were leaving a little
Yeah.
bit later in the day.
Yeah, right.
So I was still there. We were probably leaving in an hour or two, and the person showed up. But the thought that he was checking our house like that, it did bring me that peace of mind.
Yeah, and it does happen every once in a while. Somebody will come home early and forget to call us, and
Yeah.
hey, there's a door open, and then everybody it's the cavalry comes to check to make sure that it's not broken into, and then by the time we get there, usually it's all taken care of. But that's what we're there for. We
Yeah.
just want to make sure that there's no broken glass, nobody gained entry into the
Right.
house, and just make sure everybody's safe and happy. So.
Yeah, and help you enjoy your vacation
Right.
or your trip or whatever, for
Right.
sure. Any other advice you want to throw out that people should be mindful of?
No, I'll just harp on it that, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. So if
Yeah.
you receive a phone call asking for charitable donations or, Chase Bank or any of your other banks, even if they're giving out like personal information from your account, somehow they hacked into your account, I would just always verify it, a two-step verification. So, hey, I'm not comfortable with this, and just hang up the phone. And if it is Chase Bank, you can always verify that at Chase
Yeah.
Bank, or just be careful with that.
Right.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
Very good advice.
Yep.
Thank you, Detective Moritz. I really appreciate your help.
Absolutely.
Hopefully, this will help people enjoy their holidays and vacations and avoid being a victim of a crime.
Yep.
Thank you.
No problem.
I'm Dave Worsley. You've been watching Police Update, and we've been talking with Detective Moritz about scams to watch out for. Be safe. Thank you for watching.